All right, and we're live here on the Gnostic Takeover. Continuing on, I've got my coffee, and I don't know how to put this to everyone. Eril has been taken by the police today, and I really don't know how I can cope with this except for making a live stream, speak about this, kick it off in the comments also on Telegram. I don't really even know what to say right now, so I'll just explain the situation. We were on our way to Vienna today, so what we wanted to do was go to Vienna, and Liz had something arranged there to sort of like meet people from a free learning group, people that have taken out their children from this slavery school system. And that's me saying this, having been educated as a teacher. And obviously, Liz doesn't want her daughter to be wearing muzzles and be traumatized by these psychopaths. And so we had planned to go to Vienna and go there, then meet up with some people. And I thought, yeah, good. And also maybe do some shopping. And we drive onto the Autobahn, the motorway, and straight away the police was already waiting there, and the police took off, and we were in the car on the Autobahn, on the motorway, and Eril said, "Don't look back, just don't look back." And I was like, okay, what's going on now? And the police is waving us to the side. So here we go. And I'm thinking like, gosh, I forgot my glass of datura today. I was like, fuck. But obviously, she's with us the whole time, ayahuasca and datura, and all the protection. It's with us the whole time. So police stops us, and just straight away, out of just, arrogant, they fully go for it. So I know it's an archontic attack by the archons. And the first thing I know is you always have to get the basics right. So what they want straight away is your consent. So the most important thing is to not give them any identification and tell them to fuck you. This is my identification with this criminal system. I don't have to do anything, all right? In Austria, we call this and I'm going to look this up because I don't know what it means in English. It's called the Unschuldsvermutung. Yeah, presumption of innocence. All right. At any moment where you're interacting with agents of the system, what always applies is the presumption of innocence. I could have killed someone just a few minutes ago. However, presumption of innocence applies at any time. I don't have to do nothing at any time. I don't even have to speak and waste my energy and speak with you. However, the driver, in this case Liz, okay, no problem to identify, all right? You want to get this out of the way? No problem. She's driving, nothing to hide. They can't do nothing, okay? However, I was uneasy with the situation with Eril because they always pull this card that, oh, you have to identify because what they were playing on him is you're illegal immigrant. They always say this, you know, it's sick. And yeah, this is where my sadness kicks in. Maybe I could have handled the situation better. However, Errol, not understanding the language, showed his identification on his mobile phone. Because me and Errol, we don't have identification anymore. Okay, our pass was taken. Mine was stolen or just lost it. It's just gone. I don't have any identification because I don't need it. There's a reason for that. And Errol showed his passport from his mobile phone. And then they caught on to him and they pulled him in. So unfortunately, the next thing that happened was that they drove him to the police station. And yeah, the whole thing is, it's basically he's identified himself, and then they are looking through the files, and Errol, before we got Errol out from this asylum camp that they brought him last time. You can go back and watch the videos from last April where we managed to get him out of this asylum camp with private liability. And they've got all of that documented, and that's what they pull on him. And they're like, there's a problem with you, and you're illegal immigrant, you're not allowed to be here. And so they brought him to the police station. Not much that I could do, and the policeman was going crazy there with me because I wasn't identified. Yeah, because they needed full consent. If I would have identified myself, they would have also come after me. But I never gave them that. That's why I'm able to do this live stream now. The only thing you have to look out for when you're dealing with the system, agents of this system, you're dealing with archons, and they only have jurisdiction over you when you consent. It's all about the engineering of consent and how they do it. They'll shout at you to do anything, and just never ever give your ID. Never. And just tell them that you'll only be writing with them. You'll only be dealing with them in letters. And that's how the notice process kicks in. All right. You write to them exactly what has happened, and you just do it in notices. Yeah, however, that wasn't the case today with Errol. Everything just went really quick, really fast. We followed the police, and who took him to another station 20 kilometers away. And we went there, we drove there, we went to two institutions back and forth. I was telling them that I need documentation, written documentation of what has happened, because I'm taking this to court. He's being held without his consent. There's no signature that he gave, and everyone's privately liable. This is human trafficking, and I'm not standing for this. And this is how I spoke to them. However, unfortunately, it didn't work. It didn't work. So they've still got Errol in there. We know he's there. The important thing was that we were there also, so everyone knows that we're informed and that we're not letting this just happen. All right, this has just happened like the last hours. We were dealing with this. It's pretty much a shock, and that's why I'm doing the live stream also to document all of that. So for everyone who's just tuned in, Errol has been taken in by the police. And they told us, the last thing they told us was that within the next 24 hours, probably, he will be deported back to England. I tried everything that I could do with my knowledge that I have, everything that I have already applied to get Errol out in the first place from the asylum camp, holding him hostage against his will, and it didn't work today. That doesn't mean that when I write the notice now, which I'm going to do, I'm going to write notice, that I won't be successful. So I'll continue helping my brother because he means everything to me. And what I also want to throw in here is there's only so much we could do today. There was only so much we could do. And it's a very high level game. And I had a feeling today in the morning that we shouldn't go into Vienna. And we should just stay here. However, things happen the way they happen. And I guess I have to come into peace with myself that there's only so much you can do. And yeah, it has happened. And what it looks to me on the highest levels, all right, I'm talking about the absolute realm. This was allowed to happen by the highest source. We couldn't have been any clearer and more committed and doing everything right. Okay. And also we make mistakes. We learn from our mistakes. We're very strict with our diet. Also, we're always observant that hacks don't come in. And from the highest level of the highest source, this was meant to happen. And it saddens me. It really saddens me. However, I see this as a sign that the next stage of the Gnostic takeover has now kicked in. It has now been activated. And everything that Eril was here to do, and this is why I would love also everyone to get involved in our community chat, what you think about this situation. Because from what I've just explained to you, from my analysis, it was meant to happen. And it's due to the fact that Errol has been here in Austria since August 2020. And he did what he was meant to do, which is to change timelines. We've switched Earth to the organic timeline, not an artificial timeline anymore. That's over. We've done it. And we've done it with the use of the highest level of shamanism, high-level shamanism at work. Putting to use ayahuasca and datura to put the new signal into this reality and to change the entire reality. And as we keep saying, all it takes is one, and it needed to be, in this case, 2-3 people together with Liz, okay, to really make this happen. And we are successful. We're victorious. We're glorious. It's a glorious victory over the dark force that wanted to build concentration camps again all across the world and have a complete genocide, a breakdown of the food supply. Like they always do, you go back into history, into the Red Army and Russia before the Second World War, during the Second World War, after the Second World War, pure genocide, raping of women, slaughter, everything, all to feed the demiurge, because the son of a bitch just thinks he can get away with it. Can rape, pillage, and torture other beings because he's a son of a bitch, because he says so, and there's no responsibility that he has to take. So how the fuck is that possible? That this fucking idiot, this demiurgic entity, the demiurge, Satan, however you want to call it, the devil. So we all have to be accountable to our behavior. However, mysteriously and miraculously, this one being and his tits the high priests of Satanism and all the priests of Satanism, all the people working in government institutions, for some magical reason, we're allowed to do whatever the fuck we want without having any consequences for genocide. This is what drives Steve mad. This is what makes Steve go absolutely mad. How is it that I am held accountable for every little action, every little thing that I don't recognize? Like today, a hack that came in today for which we pay in this way. Massively, losing a brother just because maybe we oversaw something. We get punished like this. However, all these fuckwits, they can do what they want and not be held accountable, and then mock us and say, from the 6th of March, we've got Freedom Day now, because now you're allowed to play again, little children. And we're just going to continue with that game. No, it makes Steve mad. When Steve is mad, he takes a big gulp, risks his life with ayahuasca and datura to slay everyone who's acting immorally on my planet, on our planet. And it can't be this way. That's why it cannot be possible that we suffer the consequences for maybe, and I don't even know if there was a hack, okay, a reality hack that came in that made Eril disappear from us. Not even yet have I identified that, okay? So, obviously, it must have come from a higher source that was permitted. And separation just really hurts. All right. So I want to take this back to May of last year when me and Eril separated the last time, which was also really painful for me. And I was left totally on my own, having to go through my initiation, having to face myself and shadow integration. And that was, on one side, it was an attack by the dark occult to separate me and Eril. Yes, but on a higher causality, from the highest source, that was allowed to happen because it served creation. It served everything. In the long run, me and Eril separating at the end of May precipitated me stop drinking alcohol and stop eating meat, stop eating dairy products, and totally changed my lifestyle. I really loved a drink at the weekends. However, I had to let all of that go just to serve that single one purpose that I'm here on this planet for, which is freedom. It's freedom. And let me emphasize and let me tell you that ever since last ceremony on Saturday, I tell you, we really have to look deeper into what freedom really means. We need to look deeper. This is the teaching directly from Datura. You have to really feel into what true responsibility really looks like and what it really means. It's a massive, massive lesson. And I'm sitting here right now and I'm telling you, I'm owning all of it. I'm taking full responsibility for entire creation, for all of humanity. That's why I don't touch meat, I don't touch alcohol, and I don't touch any of these things where the hack comes in. Also what we talked about with the charge, no sexuality, no nothing until this job is done. Pure freedom. And if it's shown to me, I'll even drop the coffee, anything it takes for freedom. And maybe in the long run, as it was, or what I just explained to you, what happened in May, when me and Eril separated, we came back together on the 20th of November, where we did the second ayahuasca ceremony in St. Corona. We got back together. And now we've been separated again as of today, when they took Eril in. And the last information that we have is that they are deporting him back to England. And I'm still integrating all of that with the live stream I'm doing right now. Maybe in the long run, this will also, like the first time, serve a purpose. But I already really miss him. Because it's one thing listening to Eril, and I tell you, all the people, always, when they see Eril, they think he's dark. And I can imagine he got it his entire life being misunderstood. When I tell you this is the biggest force of light the world has ever seen. This is a light warrior. I have never in my life met a better, more moral human being than Eril Kaya. He's the one who brings the light back. He brings the freedom back. I thought it was gone. I thought no one on this planet gets it, and he's the only human being I saw who's moral. The only human being who gives everything for his family, who gives everything for the human family. And I really miss him. And all of what I most heard from the people that were surrounding me is Eril is dark. I tell all of them, fuck you. You take a look at yourself. You take a look at yourself. And not judge other people. Because I know who Eril is. And I know that's a moral being. And humanity would be down the toilet if it weren't for Eril. I, with full confidence, can say that I was wrong in comparison to Eril. I had to learn my lesson. And I learned my lesson because of the great teacher that Eril is. That's why it's really difficult for me to integrate that one. Because you see him on the videos here the whole time. You see Eril. However, being with Eril is a whole nother thing. He's just a lovely, lovely brother. Pure innocence. Pure power. But pure innocence. A lovely human being. Pure soul. And I really miss him. And I just ask the entire force of the one and only highest source, ayahuasca, datura, all the powers of the earth that I invoke, that they take care of my brother, Eril, that they take care of him, because he doesn't deserve that. And Cindy, I'm going to let you speak soon and also have some people speak. Because I'm using this call to integrate that. Because I beat myself up for trying to do everything right. But I don't know if we've done something wrong. I don't know. All I know, it just really hurts. And it's a testament that everything we have done is working. However, this really hurts. So I basically said, for now, what I wanted to say, and I'm going to have some some voices on here because that's why the community is here. Because I'm really having trouble right now to get to terms with this. There's also lack of trust, obviously, in the system. And I know he's protected, that they don't do anything to him. I'm just worried. And my mind doesn't leave me alone if there's anything that we've done wrong, anything that I overlooked, because I keep trying my best not to oversee anything, because I know what a responsibility it is of what we're doing. So I'm gonna have you on, Cindy, and looking forward to hearing from you, because I really appreciated what you said last time, and I really appreciate you as a being. It really moved me to tears. So thank you. Thank you for everyone who's here on right now, because it's really helping me to come to terms with this shock that has just happened today. So let's listen from Cindy. Hello, can you hear me? Cindy?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Good.
Hello.
During your speaking, I received lots of messages. I wrote it down for you. It came through me, and listen to it. It will help you. There are several things. The first one is remember who you are. Remember who you are, because Eril opened you up. He opened you up to be who you are now. When you remember who you are, you'll be fine. You'll be fine, always. Be in the now. Be here. You're good. Eril, he left you. He didn't leave you, but he left physically now, but he left you with the force. He integrated the force into you. That's a lot to dig. And you're carrying it now alone. It feels like you're alone, but you're not. You're not alone. I told you last time, you're not alone. Eril is still connected with you. And he is fine, and he will be fine. You know that. You know he is. And another thing, you will be together. You will be together sooner than you think. But you have to let go of time. Let it go. Let it go. Trust. Trust the force you carry now within. You know that Eril does this, do you? He does this. He asks you to do this, to do the same. Let it go, be in the now, and then you can connect in spiritual, in the dream with Eril. But spirit means spirare. Spirare means breathe properly. Breathe. Breathe in through your nose and out through your nose. Then you're a true spiritual person. A person who knows how to breathe is a spiritual being. Eril is, you know he is. He asks you to breathe. When you have this feeling of losing control, breathe. Breathe in, nose out. In, out, in, out. It's the breathing exercise you do at the lake. Continue this breathing. You know that Eril is continuing it wherever he is. Doesn't matter where you put him, he continues. You can always be in connection with Eril when you connect with your own spirit. Breathe. And you'll be, soon it will be 22/2/22. That's coming Tuesday. Mark that date. No action is action as well. You overreacted when the police came. You know it. You just told us. But that's okay. Everything happens for a purpose. This had to happen. When this is all over, you and Errol are going to explain why this happened. It's the beauty of things that happen. Although you disagree, you want him beside you as always. Sometimes you have to divide to come back stronger. You can be grateful, that's a strange thing to say, for what happened. Because it will make you stronger, especially you. And Errol initiated you. And he wants you, he initiated you during the 2 ceremonies. And now he wants you to integrate it. Initiation, integration. You can only do that by yourself. This is your job now. And I don't know why we are connected, but I'm getting through a lot of things for you. It's crazy.
It's wonderful. I listen to every word you speak. It's an amazing resonance. Thank you so much. It's amazing.
You're welcome. Anytime.
Wow. Yeah,
well,
I cannot agree more. Yeah, absolutely. It makes total sense.
You're more on ease now, are you?
Much more at ease. Much more.
I can see. Trust the process.
I knew. I decoded it. It's multi-dimensional. The whole thing, and it was it's an incredible connection that I've built up with Eril over the last few weeks, and especially on Saturday, we really had such a close connection, and it was the first time in my life that I knew I could trust a human being, and that was an amazing thing to happen. Because I have so many agents around me, and I just always have to tell them, fuck off, all the time. All the time, they're everywhere. No matter what you tell them, okay, they pound on you, and I had to stay on my own my whole life. And yeah, it just really hurt me today. And today I was actually very calm with the police. I hardly interfered. I had a feeling that this was meant to happen. I just tried everything to get him out again, but I did stay completely calm. They went mad because I didn't identify myself, because they would have also taken me in, but I didn't consent. It was a very, very thin line, and very happy. But it was not possible for Eril to dodge this. It wasn't possible. He was in a situation, when you're in a country where you don't speak the language, unfortunately, you have to identify, and then they got him. Yeah.
One last thing. You've forgotten to listen to your intuition. Your gut feeling told you not to go to Vienna.
Yes.
Why didn't you listen? What happened? What distracted you? What happened? You know this. You don't have to say it, but you know what distracted you, and you didn't listen to your intuition. You don't have to speak it out, because I already know.
Yeah.
Be careful.
I fully know. Absolutely.
Yes, you know. That's enough. That's enough.
Wow. Yeah, you covered the whole thing there. Thank you so much, Cindy. Thank you.
You're most welcome.
Yeah, let's stay in contact here on Telegram. I think it's very important.
Of course, we will. You are in connection with a lot of people.
Amazing. Beautiful.
Take care.
Thank you. You take care too. Thank you so much for your input. All right.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye. All right. This was Cindy speaking, and I tell you, this intel that's the intel. That's someone who really, really knows And I have to say that I will I will have to integrate that right now. I can't continue now getting more people on. I have to say, because that it covered everything. Cindy covered everything. How is that possible? Because of Gnosis. Because of why this channel even exists. It's the Gnostic takeover. It's knowing. It's when people are like, who are you to know? I am the force that takes over this planet. This is what I am. You do not speak to me like this. Yes, it's about knowing. And it's about knowing when enough is enough and when you have to integrate something. And I cannot thank Cindy more, because that's what she made happen just now. And it's a great healing. And wow, you see what a thin line this is, the intuition and listening to your intuition. And I had it strongly today in the morning. However, it really is not an easy thing. Wow. I mean, I'm speechless. I'm speechless, and she's absolutely right. However, this was meant to happen, and we'll be together sooner than we think. That makes a lot of sense. It's important to let go. Where I am right now, in the moment where I am now, nothing can interfere. There's no consent given at any moment. Okay, so no one can come into our space, no hack can come in. And I'm one massive learning lesson richer right now. Always be aware and watch the 4 main principles of Gnosticism, the video again. Our channel will be up and running again on Friday, because the Dark Occult made a strike on our channel. We'll be back on Friday with the Gnostic Takeover. I'm going to upload this right now on the second channel we have, on the German channel. And sorry for everyone who wanted to also chip in with something, but I'm going to go and talk with Liz now. And wow, I mean, you see, it's all about knowing. And what we just heard from Cindy is a level of knowing. It's a level of consciousness, and it's outside of this Archon frequency barrier of the Archon matrix. This comes directly from the heart, and you feel it. It's a resonance. So that's all I needed to hear, and I'm going to take the time for healing and for integrating. We're right over the target, and it was amazing because yesterday there were a lot of eagles around us when me and Errol did our daily routine and walked. A lot of eagle presence, and the eagle was also there when we were at the police today. And I heard it, and I was like, yeah, whatever this means now, we're going to get through this. So there's nothing that can stop this. And as Cindy rightly said, this will only make me stronger. And I can already feel the power rising inside of me. Full gratitude for the learning experience. But really listen to your intuition. Really listen to your intuition. And absolutely, yeah, give it everything. All right. I'm gonna jump on again later. All right, we can have a talk. I invite everyone. I'm gonna jump off again because I need a recovery now from everything that has happened. So thank you for everyone who's here, and we'll speak soon. Okay. Much love to all of you. Bye bye.